Rebel Moon Part 2 The Scarred Giver dropped on Netflix last Friday, and I'll tell you how good it is. But before I can start with Rebel Moon Part 2, I first have to talk about Rebel Moon Part 1. And I have to say, I'm not such a fan of Rebel Moon Part 1. Because the biggest problem there was for me that none of the characters were interesting and didn't have any depth. The only two characters I kind of liked, even though they were completely one-dimensional, were Charlie Hunnam as a basically rip-off Han Solo, and the main bad guy, I forgot what he's called, which you could see he had a lot of fun playing that role. Anyway, now let's come to the negatives of Rebel Moon Part 2, because I unfortunately have more negative points than positive points for this movie. My biggest problem with this movie, once again, is just that the characters have no depth at all, but they all pretend like they've known each other for decades, which just doesn't make sense. I mean, they do talk about their backstory in one scene, but it's just made so poorly because they're just all sitting at the table and then everybody gets to say what their backstory was. I mean, that's just the easiest form of doing exposition. Also, all of the characters say stuff no one would ever say like that. I mean, just generally, the dialogues were written terribly, unfortunately. And Zack Snyder tries to sprinkle in some dramatic moments between characters, but you just don't care because you're not emotionally attached to them at all. Also, the score doesn't work at all with the scenes they play. I mean, just for itself, the score is quite good, but the problem is it just doesn't fit with the scenes that are playing, because you have like this really epic score playing in a scene where they're harvesting some plants. The CGI also was quite bad at times, but not always, and sometimes it was great. Which leads me to the positives. We have some very cool shots, like for instance, every time there's some shooting in slow motion, I just love that. Also, the explosions in the background looked cool and reminded me of The Creator. Also, there are a lot of fight scenes, which were fun and nicely shot, which I'd say is an improvement. The bad guy also enjoyed his role a lot, and I enjoyed him overacting. You could see he had fun, and so I also had fun. So overall, unfortunately worse than the first one, because there's even less cool visuals, even though there are still some, and less character moments, and no Charlie Hunnam. 2 out of 5 for me. To check out how I would rank all the MonsterVerse movies, click here. Okay, that's been it. Thanks for watching, and bye.